Now, may I request that you forget all your problems and just relax while I bring you the master key with which you may unlock the door to any opportunity that your mind can conceive. The master key consists of 17 principles, the first of which is definiteness of purpose. Right here at the beginning of our visit, I'm going to make you a promise. If you will decide definitely what you want most during your entire lifetime and write it down on paper so that I can read it, I will give you the master key with which you may open the door to the attainment of your desires, whatever they may be. The exact moment when I will deliver this master key to you will depend entirely upon when you are ready to receive it. This is the first of 13 messages that I will deliver to you. Now, in each message, I will describe the master key in terms that you will understand, if you are ready to understand. And now I shall give you the first cue as to the nature of the great master key which has been responsible for all the great successes in every calling, in every part of the world. Please listen carefully to what I have to say, because you may discover the secret of the master key in this first visit. You may get your first cue as to the nature of the great master key when I tell you that psychologists have discovered a natural law which is the very foundation of all personal successes. And I can describe it to you in one short sentence so you can understand. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Isn't that a profound statement? You will notice that it says nothing about the need for education, but simply that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, your mind can achieve. Now, if you want evidence that the mind can achieve whatever the mind can conceive without the benefit of formal education, you only have to remember that Thomas A. Edison conceived the idea of becoming an inventor and lived to become the world's greatest scientist in the field of invention, with only 3 months of common school education. When I first heard Andrew Carnegie describe this natural law, which makes it possible for you and I and everyone else to write his own price tag in life and attain it, I became so enthused over it that I began to search for the power back of it. And my curiosity led me finally to the discovery of the master key, which I shall reveal to you if you are ready to receive it. My search led me to the study of the spiritual forces with which all of us are blessed. And it was in this field that I came upon a clue which has enabled me to help millions of people to find their earthly destiny. I want to describe my discovery in the simplest terms possible, because it will reveal to you why it is true that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past or how lofty your aims and hopes may be. I caught my first fleeting glimpse of the profound law which provides the means by which we may choose our own purpose in life and attain it, while I was being coached by Andrew Carnegie during the organization of the Science of Success philosophy. I had just finished telling Mr. Carnegie that I feared he had chosen the wrong person to give the world the first practical philosophy of personal success, because of my youth, my lack of education, and my lack of finances. Well, at this point, Mr. Carnegie delivered a lecture that I shall never forget, because it changed my entire life and paved the way for my helping to change the lives of millions of people, some of them not yet born.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see the world through the eyes of a millionaire? To feel what they feel, to think how they think, to make decisions with the same confidence of someone who already knows exactly where they're going? Now, what if I told you that this ability is already inside of you? That it's always been there, just asleep, waiting to be awakened? That's exactly what Napoleon Hill discovered. For years, he interviewed some of the most successful men in history, people like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. And after deep research, he came to a simple but powerful conclusion. Real wealth begins in the mind. It doesn't rely on luck, physical effort, or external opportunities. It all starts with a clear idea, a burning desire, and the courage to make a firm decision. Hill called this the master key. And this key is made up of 17 core principles. But every single one of them revolves around one central concept: definiteness of purpose. Without knowing exactly what you want, no strategy will work. No idea will take root. No effort will last. That's why so many smart people fail. They're busy. They're moving, but with no clear direction. Hill invites us to do things differently. Write down what you want. Be clear. Be direct. And the key will unlock the doors that today seem closed. Over the next few minutes, you'll learn how to apply these principles in your own life. But before we go any further, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what do I truly want? If that question stirred something inside you, like this video, share it with someone who's also searching for clarity. And stay with me. What comes next might just change everything. Before we dive deeper, let me say this. If the content so far already shifted your thinking, imagine what's still ahead. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. The journey we're about to begin has the power to unlock your mind in ways you may have never experienced before. Let's go. Napoleon Hill said, "It all starts with a clear purpose." But what comes after that? The second piece of the master key is something most people overlook: faith. Not in the religious sense, but faith as a deep inner certainty, the belief that what you desire is truly possible. Even if no one around you believes it. Even if your current reality suggests the opposite. And that kind of faith doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built over time. Reinforced daily through your words, your thoughts, and your actions. Take Elon Musk, for example. People thought he was crazy when he sold everything from Zip2 to invest heavily in building PayPal. And again, when he risked his entire fortune on rockets with SpaceX. But he didn't need others to believe. He believed. And that was enough. And this is where the shift begins, when you start acting as if failure isn't even an option. Your decisions become stronger. Your presence changes. And slowly, the world starts responding to that energy. Warren Buffett followed a similar path. He believed that emotional discipline and long-term thinking would win in the financial markets. While others panicked during crises, he saw opportunity. His certainty wasn't blind, it was the result of decades of study, reflection, and action. This kind of faith is what separates those who try from those who achieve. But faith only works when you feed it. Hill called this conscious autosuggestion, repeating every single day and with emotion the vision of the life you want to create. This isn't mysticism, it's neuroscience. The brain learns through repetition. And what you repeat with emotion, it begins to accept as reality. That's why so many high achievers have strong daily rituals. They train their minds before the outside world has a chance to influence them. So ask yourself, what have you been feeding your mind lately? Because if your inner dialogue is full of fear, doubt, and criticism, what do you think you're going to create? Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down how to create a positive cycle of belief, decision, and action. Because the mind is like fertile ground, and whatever you plant there is what you end up harvesting in life. Have you ever noticed how some people earn a good income, but are always broke, while others, with way less, manage to save, invest, and grow? That's because money is never just about how much you make. It's about how you think about it. Napoleon Hill understood this before anyone else. He realized that financial behavior is a direct reflection of what's programmed in your mind. Your beliefs, your habits, and the decisions you make every single day. And as long as those mental patterns stay the same, your financial life will too. Most people grow up believing that money is scarce, that it's hard to earn, that if someone has a lot, they probably did something wrong. These beliefs, even when they're not said out loud, run in the background and sabotage any attempt to move forward. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. That's why so many work hard, hustle non-stop, even manage to increase their income, only to spend it all just as fast. Because deep down, the mind pulls them back to the same old place, the same pattern of scarcity. But people who start to develop an abundance mindset behave differently. They track what they earn. They know exactly where their money is going. And most importantly, they understand that every financial decision is a vote for the kind of future they're building. Saving isn't just about storing money. It means you're thinking long-term. Investing isn't just about multiplying wealth. It means you believe the future can be better than the present. Looking for new income streams isn't greed. It's vision. All of that starts with mental re-education. And that doesn't come from school, or your bank, or the media. It comes from the conscious decision to think differently. True financial freedom isn't just having money. It's having clarity, control, and direction. It's moving away from constantly putting out fires and starting to build something that grows over time. And that's what Hill was really pointing to. Money is a byproduct of how you train your mind, define your priorities, and take action every day. So the question is, do your financial habits today reflect the life you want tomorrow? Because wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. Wanting a better financial life is the first step. But without a clear plan, that desire turns into frustration. And that's where most people get stuck. They have the will. They even feel motivated. But they have no idea where to begin. Napoleon Hill warned that no idea can survive without a well-thought-out plan. And when it comes to money, that's even more true. Because unplanned money doesn't disappear loudly. It disappears silently. If you don't know exactly how much you earn, how much you spend, and how much you could be investing, then you're reacting to life, not building it. Financial planning doesn't need to be complicated. It starts with the basics, knowing where you are, where you want to go, and what steps will get you there. But what really gives it power is consistency. It's not enough to make a budget once a year and forget about it. Building financial freedom takes daily discipline, the habit of reviewing, adjusting, optimizing. Hill talked about the importance of acting with purpose. And when you apply that to your finances, you begin to see that every choice matters. That unnecessary purchase, the forgotten subscription, the impulse buy. All of that is stealing from your future. But every small, conscious decision, investing a little each month, cutting what doesn't serve you, learning how to manage your money better, is a brick in the foundation of your independence. And no, this isn't about living in constant sacrifice. It's about making choices aligned with what you truly want. Because spending without thinking is easy. The real challenge is building something that gives you peace, freedom, and time to live life on your terms. That's where planning becomes power. It turns "someday I'll get there" into "every month I'm getting closer." It shifts control away from banks, debt, and bills, and puts it back in your hands. Even more than that, good planning frees your mind. When you know you're in control, fear fades. Anxiety gives way to clarity, and that impacts every part of your life. Your work, your relationships, your health. You begin to live with direction. That's why every real journey toward financial freedom needs a plan. Simple, clear, and something you can actually follow. Because wealth isn't an event, it's a process. And that process begins when you take the lead. You can have a clear vision, unshakable belief, a solid plan, and the discipline to execute it. But if you're surrounded by the wrong people, all of it can quietly fall apart. Napoleon Hill was one of the first to speak about the power of your mental environment. And this applies completely to your financial life. Think about it. If the people around you constantly criticize wealth, complain about life, operate on autopilot, and believe getting rich is pure luck, slowly, without even noticing, you absorb that mindset. Even if you're putting in the effort, your energy gets drained. Your ideas feel too much. Your plans start to seem unrealistic. And little by little, you shrink your dreams to fit into someone else's version of normal. That's why one of the most powerful principles in the Master Key is aligning yourself with big thinkers, people who lift you up, who challenge you to grow, who talk about solutions, not just problems, who celebrate your wins, not secretly resent them. That's the difference between accelerated growth and silent stagnation disguised as a normal life. And here's something important. Changing your environment doesn't always mean cutting people off. Sometimes, it just means being intentional about what you absorb. You can love your family and still choose to surround yourself every single day with content, ideas, and people that push you forward. Today, thanks to the internet, you have direct access to the mindset of the greatest investors, entrepreneurs, and thinkers in history. You can fill your world with books, videos, courses, and conversations that shape your thinking to help you grow. So the real question is, what are you feeding your mind every day?